Hello, 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 amigas, and welcome to Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. Oh, goodness gracious. I am really coming in right now a bit, how can I say, uninspired. So much so that I almost didn't record this episode. Not because I didn't want to, but just I wasn't feeling it, amigas. I really wasn't. And I had to reflect and really come to self, because in order to understand how I'm feeling right now in the moment, I have to pause, as my wonderful friend Maricela was saying that she was going to do more of this year. I had to pause and reflect what was happening and why I was feeling uninspired, unclear, and a little quiet inside. So much so that I almost thought I wouldn't record this episode. How many of you feel that way sometimes? Just uninspired. Not because you're lazy or you just don't feel like it. Mainly because you've been working a lot, and sometimes you're just like left with, I don't know what to do anymore. Kelgon, take me away, or the feeling of maybe it's not necessary to perform, to bring up something polished in your life, that everything is so IG amazing and perfect, or look at least somewhat perfect, although we're not perfect. I'm the least of the people of to display perfectness, or I'm definitely not impervious to the fact that I'm sometimes a shit show. I am. And it's okay to acknowledge that. I think that's the season I am right now. There's just been so much going on in my life. And I had to take stock today and say to myself, okay, Jackie, you can do another episode, or you don't have to if you don't want to. And it was important for me to acknowledge the in-between season, meaning you do things so much and you get depleted, so much so that you're like, God, can we just stop? Can I do nothing and it be okay? How many of us feel that way sometimes? Can I do nothing and be okay? First with me, and then with everybody else. So after much deliberation about what to do, and being very, very pensive and being in pause and taking stock, basically I said, you know what? This is a great opportunity to talk about the in-between. And amigas, if you're in the season where things don't feel loud or obvious, this is for you. Because sometimes things are not loud or obvious. Sometimes they come in the little whispers, the little moments that you take along the way. And the only reason you get to acknowledge them is because you actually take that moment to pause and reflect that even in those little moments, they were huge, right? It was incremental, but yet they compounded. And then when that happens, sometimes you're just, I get to take the pressure away to show up polished. And so I'm taking that pressure away from showing up polished, because sometimes the unpolished is what makes Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast the best, right? Anyhow, so I'm talking to you, Amiga, the in between, those moments that you get to reflect and decide, is this okay? Most certainly, it is okay to be in the in between, to feel uninspired and quiet inside. So while I almost didn't record this episode, I'm glad that I am, because I know there's amigas out there who get to hear this and it will resonate with them. So just to flash back a little bit of what I've been doing and what I'm creating, and there's a couple of exciting things, and then there was some serious things that happened. And I want to acknowledge all of them unpolished, the unpolished version of me. And so one of the things that I happen to do is assist my mom in one of her medical appointments. So my mom has been going through many medical issues, and the beautiful thing about having siblings is that we get to share in the responsibility of taking care of mom. And for a couple of months, my sister, Dr. Christina, has been doing that, not only for my mom, but also for our dad. And, taking care of all the appointments and whatnot. And so I just want to acknowledge that she took the lead on that, and she was able to help us all come together as siblings to see how we can be of more support to our mom and our father, because obviously our parents are at a tender age that they're aging, and amigas out there who have aging parents can understand that it's challenging when you also have your own kids and your own things that you have to do for them. And so it's okay to be unpolished. It's okay that we get to not do things. And this episode is for that, for that we sometimes carry responsibility very quietly, and no one really hears about it. And this is one responsibility that I think many amigas have been doing for their parents, and they carry this responsibility very quietly. But I just want to acknowledge you that it goes without saying that this is a huge responsibility. It is. To care for your ailing parent is a big deal. And I want to acknowledge you for doing that, and the space that sometimes we get exhausted because we're being pulled in different directions. And so I'm holding space for you in that regard. And I know that many of you are holding space for me, because these are times when we get to be with our elders, and let's just face it, if all goes according to the way life is that the parents perish before the kids. And so any little moment that you have with your parent is a blessing. And so I want to commend you for taking care of your parents. And even if it's just making those appointments, that is a step in the direction towards healing, right? Because many of us have gone through so much. It's a wonderful step towards loving our parents and taking care of them. So I want to acknowledge you in that regard. And then also, I get to share with you all the other things that have been happening, aside from taking care of ailing parents or setting up appointments or taking them to places. So, in that, in taking care of parent responsibilities, you're still taking care of your professional responsibilities. And I was so excited that I was able to partake in teaching with a group of professionals through my girlfriend Veronica Franco, who has an amazing platform. She's in the real estate industry, and she invited me to be a guest and show up to teach fellow future podcasters. So I was able, and so grateful that I was able to perform and present 101, podcasting 101. And obviously, if you want to know more about that, I have the video. You can certainly request to see it. You can email me, Jackie@JackieTapia.com, and get to learn more about my producers and whatnot, and how I've been able to market Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. So in addition to that, I also was privy to sitting on interviews for my daughter, who is approaching high school. And obviously, while she can certainly attend the continuation of her school, they have a high school there. That would be the easiest route. I wouldn't have to do any appointments. I don't have to do any open houses. I don't have to do any interviews. But I always think of the best interests of my kid. And so that was happening simultaneously. I was doing interviews for these great high schools, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure God already knows where she's going to go, and I'm just allowing God to show up for us, to grace us with the best opportunity for our kid. So that's happening as well. And of course, that's exhausting. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time. And, writing, setting up all these, setting up recommendations and writing to the fellow professors to help me out here. It's a great task. In addition to that, I'm so grateful that my kid was able to be master conductor at the Colburn School of Music, in her group called String Ensemble. And what an honor. That was a true honor, not only for our kid, but then also for us as parents. And we had all these parents congratulate us because we had a kid that worked really hard for that position. So lots of things going on. Now, fast forward to what just happened this past weekend. I just had the most amazing time, in trusting the ride, and also letting mystery exist. And what do I mean by that? I was able to partake on a Waymo drive. Waymo is one of those cars that are driverless vehicles that are very known here on the west side. And it was so neat to be able to ride in one of those. It was kind of scary because you get to trust that this driverless vehicle is going to take you home. And it certainly did. It was a very interesting way of coming back home. We didn't take Uber, and Uber, both vehicles take you home, but one was way more exciting because it was new. And it just goes to show that where the future is going, albeit maybe a bit scary, it could be very scary, and you release the control because there's no one controlling the vehicle, or at least we don't see one, right? So are we prepared for a future of driverless vehicles? That's a question. So that's, something exciting, but in that there's feelings like, where are we going in the future with robots? Are we going to be in a future where our own vehicles will be taking us and we won't need Uber drivers. So that in itself is kind of concerning, yet maybe not concerning, because maybe you want to use your own vehicle to pick up people. That's another side business, a possibility. Who knows? We'll see. Only the future knows. We have no idea where it's going to go. But, trusting the ride was very interesting to me. And I had this energy of, okay, well, I'm going to run with it. And I had fun with it. And so trusting what the future is going to look like also has energy. And the reason we even took the Waymo ride is because we went to visit the Magic Castle. And for many of you, Angelinos are very well aware of the Magic Castle. It was a really cool place. It was a beauty of secrecy and awe. No cameras are allowed to enter the Magic Castle. You can't record anything. And so if as a first timer, you have no idea what's going to happen. So again, trusting is something that not all of us are really good at, right? Some of us are, some of us are not. But that was a really interesting space to be in. It was fun. I had a wonderful time. And it was so cool. And it was really neat to see the different tricks that the magicians had. And they were funny too. So for any of you who want to go check it out, obviously you have to be a member in order to go, or you have to know someone to invite you. Or you can actually spend the night at their hotel, and that they will hook you up with an invitation to the Magic Castle. So I'm excited for that, and we were invited again to the Magic Castle. So that's going to be neat, because now I'll go with my husband and maybe another couple. So who knows? We'll see how that goes. But as we're approaching February, I can't even believe it. I'm also honored that I'm going to be celebrating my 52nd birthday. That's a big milestone as well. Biggie used to say in one of his songs, birthdays were the worst days, but now we sip champagne because we're thirsty. So I love sipping champagne. I try not to look at it as a bad day. I actually look at it as a beautiful day, because I'm glad that I was born. I'm glad that my mom said yes, and to me being on this planet. So February 2nd is my birthday, and let's see what I get to do for the birthday. It lands on a weekday, so it may not be anything extravagant, but no pasa nada. My life is extravagant. My days are luxurious. My days are filled with happiness. So no pasa nada. It might be just another amazing day. And so we'll see. And also, we're going to see whether what is Valentine's going to do, right? I mean, that's also fast approaching. In addition to Valentine's, amigas, I'm excited to say that we're taking our podcast and we're going places. Yes, amigas, we're going places. And right now we're accepting sponsorships. So you will have the sponsorship page linked up in our show notes. So if any of you are interested, I'm looking just for 2 sponsors. And if you're interested, let me know. You can email me, Jackie@JackieTapia.com, for further information. And I just want to let you know that one of my sponsors, one that was potential. Now she said yes, she's going to make it, but I'm not going to disclose who it is yet. We'll leave that for the next episode. But I'm excited. So where is this mobile podcast going to take place? It's going to be at Local Fixture, and it's taking place on February 22nd from 11 to 3 p.m. You can actually get general seating or VIP seating for the event. If you don't want to be a sponsor, you can find the link also in my show notes. So you can come and say hello and enjoy these amazing interviews and come and meet me in person. So that is happening very soon. I'm excited that I get to drop it here, but amigas, this is why Spirit said, you got to come up, you got to talk and just really, even though you feel like you're not ready or prepared, it's nice. It's okay. It's okay to not be clear. Listen, I wasn't clear in the beginning, but now I am. Now I know where I'm going and where the direction of my podcast is going. So I'm going to acknowledge the in-between season and know that all the little things that I did in these 2 weeks were not in vain. They were just setting me up for what's to come at the end of February. So, amigas, I would love, love, love to hear back from you. Let me know what your thoughts are. Were you good about listening to this episode? Because oftentimes leadership is very invincible. I'm telling you, it's invincible. Leadership is just could take leadership can take a wild ride, right? Just like my Waymo ride. It was wild. It was different. So be open to the connections. Be open to that. And, I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready for new inspirations. I'm ready for new collaborations, and I'm ready for what's coming. So, amigas, if you are feeling uninspired, take a breath. Acknowledge the in-between season. No pasa nada, okay? I'm here for you. Have an amazing, marvelous week, and I'll see you next week.